What's up, everybody? It's me, Devin the Retro Gamer, and I haven't done one of these in a while. Today, we're going to be doing a review, and this time we're going to be reviewing Psychonauts, which is a very good PS2 game, I have to admit. And I even played it myself, as you guys remember. So this game starts off with, you're at a camp, right? And it's a camp filled with, like, psychonautic people, you know? Like, they have some really weird powers within their minds. And you're there, and they're kind of wondering, hey, why is this weird guy here? You know, it's not like he has any cool, you know, psychonautic powers like us. Wink, wink, right? And, you know, they're like, we'll keep you around, and we'll let you do our, you know, little tutorial levels. Which, yeah, it's like, the first 3 levels are basically that. Like, you do levels with the you know, teacher people, which are based on them, you know, like you do one for the military guy, you do one for Sasha, you know, you do one for the Hispanic lady. It's all pretty good. And, I mean, for tutorial levels, they weren't even too bad. I'm gonna give them credit on that one. I feel like a lot of the characters in this game are very interesting, you know, like there's this one kid who, he has like a no brain, basically, and, well, he has a brain, right? But he has, like, this thing covering his brain, so he can't, like, use it, because apparently, if he does, he would blow up somebody. So, that's his really weird power. And a lot of people have some other powers, you know. Throughout the game, you kind of, you know, meet those people. I just want to warn everybody that from this point on in the review, it is going to be a spoiler, so if you haven't played Psychonauts yet and are planning on playing it, you might want to, you know, not look at the review. But yeah, anyways, carrying on. As you go through the first couple of levels, right, you meet, basically, this one guy who is in your ear. I know, pretty weird. But this one guy who's in your ear is going to be helpful because he'll give you a lot of hints throughout the game. So, like, say if I'm confused about a boss or something, he gave me some interesting hints. You later find out that he was the leader of the Psychonauts team that you're, you know, doing the thing for. For one of the characters, there's this one guy who, he basically betrays you, throughout, like, eventually in the game, because you find out, because he's one of the bad guys, he's the teacher. And, you know, I think it was the halfway point where that happened. I can't really tell what the length was, you know, I can't tell the basis, but I know all the levels. And let me tell you, everybody, the levels are definitely like the highlight of the game, you know, like I would hope it would be for most games, because each of them are very unique, they're very interesting. And, you know, just to give you a good example, there's like this level called the Milkman, and you could tell it's kind of based on, you know, conspiracy theories, you know, like people who are scared of the government, you know, and you can kind of see that reflected within the level when, you know, you see all these shadowy people, like, saying, hey, we're coming for you, we're coming for the Milkman. And it shows his anxiety and fear of that sort of stuff. There's another one where you kind of play a Napoleon-themed level where you have to, like, you know, destroy his chess pieces in the war game, right? And within it, you know, you have to help the, what is supposed to be Napoleon's, like, grandson, I believe, you know, do all that stuff. And he's a little bit, you know, tense, you know, in the level, because he thinks, you know, I can't do it. I can't defeat him. So, the trick is to, I don't know, defeat him, I guess. I don't know. But it's a really good story, and I like the way it was done. But I want to get to the gameplay. The gameplay is really clever. It's very, whatchamacallit, different, you know, the way you play it, and I like that within my games. Because, I mean, if you don't have a variety in gameplay, you know, what are you going to have in a game? And each level does have their own special gameplay, like in the Milkman level again, you know, there's a sneaking section. There's also little power-ups that you get within the game that you're able to try out, you know, during your playthrough. And it's all very interesting. I'll just say that. And a very good, you know, sort of feature, I think. Later in the game, though, after the tutorial sections, you later get kind of eaten by a slug thing. I know, pretty weird, but hear me out. You fight the slug in a boss battle underwater, and after you defeat the big slug boy, yeah, you win. And now you get to go in their mind, you know? So later in the game, instead of just going into your teacher's mind, you're actually going into everybody's minds. Like, that's the big theme of the game here, you know? So you go inside the whale's mind, and it's like, not whale, slug monster or whatever. You go inside his mind, or her mind, and when you do, you see like this weird utopia of like fish people, where you're like a giant called Goggalor. And that level is really fun. Like, if you're a big fan of, you know, Giant Clank sections in Ratchet and Clank or Godzilla games, you know, you guys would really like that level. And that's a lot of what I had to say with, like, you know, cool gameplay, you know? Like, the Napoleon level, you kind of shrink and grow to, you know, help the cause of Napoleon's grandson's war. That's a really, like, stylized level that's, you know, based on this one dude who, you know, was trying to impress a girl that he liked, but then he got bullied by the guy and the girl. And later in it, you know, he realized that they were douchebags, which basically ended the dream. Or, sorry, ended his mind, I guess, and it took him out of the thing. And a lot of it is based on that. You know, you're trying to help these people. Oh, wait, yeah, let me get to the other part. I'm sorry, guys, I forgot. So after you go to the fish, he gives you the chance to go to, like, an insane asylum. And when you go to that insane asylum, that's when you meet all the crazy people. And I feel like the insane asylum area where you meet all the crazy people is probably the best part of the game. You know, that one has, you know, the best levels, in my opinion. And, you know, once you're doing that, you know, yeah. And, you know, I don't know, I think that's about it for my review. I could, you know, touch up more on the story and whatnot. But I guess I could say, in terms of, you know, graphics, it looks really nice for, especially a 2005 game. Very nice, you know. But the games aren't about the graphics. The game's about the gameplay. And they have it good when it comes to the gameplay. You know, Rez jumps really nice. He's got a good walk cycle. He has a little punch move. He could burn things with his mind. He could do all sorts of things with his mind. That's the major feature of it all, which really adds to the game, you know? And some of these power-ups are like, you know, kind of mind-themed. So it's interesting. And within the mines, like, there's these little webs that you have to use, like, this cobweb duster thing for, which, you know, opens up the areas. Certain things you can't do in dreams until you come back later, and I'd say that's a little thing called backtracking. Now, I'm not a big fan of backtracking, and that's probably the smallest nitpick I have of the game. But aside from that, it is a really solid game. And I'd recommend it to any fan of, you know, 3D platformers that has a PS2, Xbox. I think it was on GameCube. I don't, you know, quote me on that one. It's definitely on PS4 and Xbox One, though, so, you know, if you guys have any of those newer systems, I'd recommend getting Psychonauts. Really good game. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Sorry if the review kind of seemed jumbled up. I haven't really had time to do some other stuff today, and I wanted to give you guys a nice little review. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.